Let's get one thing clear from the very beginning. You don't need elaborate shit to do magic. I don't care what the Instagram witches say. I don't care what your favorite influencers Etsy shop is charging for soy wax spell jars with gold foil labels. Don't care if the books tell you to spend $100 on candles. Imported oils or expensive imported herbs as must-haves for every working. That's not magic, that's marketing. What you need is fire. What you need is will. What you need is the courage to speak your truth to that flame, even when your voice shakes. That's punk magic. No frills, no hierarchy, no bullshit. Just raw, gritty power pushed through the cracks in a broken system. You don't need permission. You don't need purity. You need to mean it. See, we've been fed this lie that power comes with price tags. That you can't cast a proper spell unless you have the right gear, the right setting, the right lineage, the right everything. That without all those things, your magic won't work, or worse, you don't deserve to try. That's absolute bullshit. Real witches have always made do with what they had. Real magic was born in kitchens, in graveyards, in dirt floor cottages, and city flats with peeling paint. It grew from desperation and defiance, not luxury and likes. Your great-grandmother didn't need a matching altar set to make things happen. She needed a candle, a prayer, a knife, and a reason. And you've got all of that already. If you've ever found a tea light in the back of a drawer and lit it in the dark, just to feel a little less alone, you've done candle magic. If you've ever whispered a wish into the smoke of a dying matchstick, you've done candle magic. If you've ever watched fire dance and felt something move inside you, something ancient and holy and a little dangerous, you've done candle magic. It's not about fancy tools, it never was. It's about what you put into them. Your rage, your sorrow, your hope, your defiance. That's what lights the wick. That's what makes the flame sacred. In this system we live in, the one that profits off your doubt, it's no accident that spiritual practice has become another thing to consume, another aesthetic to perfect, another identity to brand and sell. Witchcraft is trending, they say. So now everything has a price. But that's not where the real power is. The real power is in you, especially when you have nothing left but the will to try. A tea light from a discount store can become a beacon. A birthday candle stuck in an apple can become an offering. A stub of wax lit in a jar can carry a curse, a prayer, a promise. You don't need tools to impress anyone. You don't need rituals to make you feel valid. What you need is to show up with your scars, your spit, your breath, and speak to the flame like it's listening, because it is. Fire has always listened. This isn't just about working within your means. This is about refusing to let systems of oppression follow you into your sacred space. It's about magic that bites back, magic that grows from the cracks, magic that doesn't need to be pretty to be powerful. That's why punk magic matters, because we're not here to perform spirituality for an algorithm. We're here to reclaim it, to rip it out of the hands of those who try to own it, brand it, tame it. We're here to say no more. So if you've ever thought you couldn't be a witch because you couldn't afford the gear, this one's for you. If you've ever felt like you were on the outside of magic, looking in through glass, this one's for you. If you've ever lit a candle and prayed to be seen, to be heard, to be helped, then you're already doing the work. This video is for broke witches, angry witches, outcast witches, for the ones who don't look the part, who don't play the game, who never quite fit into the curated image of modern witchcraft. You don't need to fit in. You need to burn. And the flame doesn't care where it came from. So let's talk about what actually matters. Let's talk about the truth behind Candle Magick, not the sugar-coated, influencer-friendly version, but the kind that passed hand to hand in alleyways, whispered between generations, scratched into the margins of old notebooks and scrawled on toilet paper in desperation, the kind of magic you do when you've got nothing left but belief and a box of matches, the kind that still works. So firstly, what counts as a candle? You've probably been told you need the right candle for the right spell. Green for money, red for passion, white for peace, black for protection, and so on. And sure, there's a logic to that. Colors carry resonance. But here's the truth. The best candle is the one you have. Don't have a green candle? Use white. White is a blank slate. It's every possibility in one. Don't have a black candle? Use the half-burnt tea light you found in a drawer and speak your protection into it. Don't have anything but a birthday candle stuck into a saucer? That'll do just fine. Use what's around you. Tea lights are the DIY hero of Candle Magick. They're cheap, discreet, and burn quickly. Ideal for quick, focused spells. Birthday candles are full of energy. They've already been used in ritual, wish-making, celebration, life. That memory is stored in the wax. House candles meant for power outages are long burning and reliable. They're built for endurance. Old stubs of wax remnants, hell yes. Especially if you melt them down and reform them into something new. That's spellcraft in action, turning leftovers into power. The candle doesn't have to be new. It doesn't have to be beautiful. It doesn't have to smell like jasmine and cost 20 quid. It just needs to burn. That's it. Second point, preparing the candle, speaking to the wax. So once you've got your candle, you need to tell it what to do. Hold it, touch it, let your breath warm the wax. This is where you imprint your intention, not with expensive oils or engraved sigils, though you can use those if you want, but with your words. Speak directly to it. And I mean really speak. Tell it what you want. Bring me peace. Protect my home. Help me find what's missing. Let them feel what they've done. Burn away the fear. You don't need to rhyme. You don't need poetic phrasing. You just need truth. This is where Punk Magick shines. No script, no waiting, no apologies. Just your voice, your breath, your pain, your need. All of it poured into a bit of wax and wick. If you want to carve into the candle, do it. A pin, a nail, a pocket knife, they all work. Draw a sigil, scratch your name, etch a single word. If the candle's too small, don't worry about it. Whisper into it instead. Words are just as binding as symbols. If you want to anoint the candle but don't have ritual oil, use what you've got. Cooking oil is fine. Olive oil has long roots in Mediterranean magic. Even your own spit works. It's literally a piece of you. Tears, blood, sweat, all sacred, all real. Punk Magick isn't about purity, it's about potency. Use what you've got because what you are is already enough. Third point, lighting the flame, birth of the spell. This is where it begins. Lighting the candle is the point of ignition. It's not just practical, it's symbolic. When you strike that match or flick that lighter, you're saying, I am ready. This spell is alive now. Treat it like a moment of power, not routine, not mechanical, intentional. And once the flame catches, sit with it. Watch the way it burns. Let it speak to you. Let your thoughts flow into it. Let your body fall into rhythm with the flicker. Candle Magick is one of the most accessible forms of trance work if you let it be. If you can, stay with the flame until it's done. That's your container. That's your spell in motion. Can't stay the whole time, snuff it and come back to it later. Ready to relight it, just restate your intention as you do. Fire has memory, but it still listens for clarity. Fourth point, reading the flame, divination from the dirt. You don't need tarot cards or a crystal ball to get feedback from your magic. The candle tells you everything. Look at the flame. How does it look? Tall and steady, that means it's strong, clean energy. Your will is focused. If it's flickering wildly, you may have emotional turbulence, spiritual interference, or high spirit presence. If it's low or barely burning, you're tired, blocked, or the situation resists. Crackling, spirit is answering back. Leaning or dancing toward one side, there's movement. Pay attention to where. What's the wax doing? If it's melting clean, your path is clear. Pulling heavily or drowning the wick, you might be smothering your intent. If you're carrying too much weight in the spell, simplify it. Strange patterns or shapes, that's your omen. Interpret it with instinct, not a book. Is there any smoke? If it's white smoke, cleansing, elevation, spirits moving upward. If it's black smoke, this means banishment, resistance of being broken down. If there's no smoke at all, quiet spell, internal, subtle. Flame reading is punk divination. It doesn't need formal training. It needs attention, intuition, and honesty. If it makes you feel something, write it down. That's your gnosis. Fifth point. Working class warm magic. Candles that curse. Let's get something straight. Candle magic isn't all light and love. It can hex, it can defend, it can hurt when needed. Protection spells, burn black candles with names carved in. Banishing, burn red or black candles with sigils or expulsion. You need justice, burn white candles while you call out the names of abusers, whispering your prayer into the flame. One of the simplest curse setups you can do may include a black birthday candle, a name scribbled on scrap paper, and a jar lid and a drop of spit. Light the candle, watch the flame flare, and feel the shift in the room. That's all it takes. Because magic isn't about violence, it's about consequence. It's about balance, about refusing to be passive while harm goes unchecked. Candle Magick lets you respond, not just spiritually but psychologically. You know you've acted, you've spoken, you've burned, you've made the energy move. You're not a victim, you're a witch, even broke, even angry, especially then. Sixth point, DIY altars and fire safety for the broken brilliant. If you don't have an altar, use your floor, a shelf, the top of a crate. Magic doesn't require mahogany and velvet, it needs intention and a flat enough surface. Don't have a candle holder, you can try a saucer or a plate, a jar lid, a bed of salt or sand to stabilize it, or just a pile of dirt on a brick. Want to dress your space? Use scrap fabric, bones, stones, coins, even trash with meaning. Everything's a symbol if you give it one. But let's not be stupid. Fire safety matters. Punk doesn't mean recklessness. So don't leave flames unattended. Don't burn near curtains, paper, or anything you'll regret. If it's a long burn, place it in a bowl of water or on a baking tray. Have water nearby, just in case. Respect the flame, honor it, but don't worship it blindly. You're a witch, not a martyr. They want you to believe you're powerless unless you buy in. That you need the right look, the right tools, the right guidance, the right kind of polished spirituality that fits neatly onto a Pinterest board or a TikTok loop. That your magic should be pretty, marketable, profitable, but magic doesn't give a damn about that. The kind of magic that changes things, that burns, was never meant to be clean. It wasn't meant to be sold in starter kits or filtered through brand deals. It came from the margins, from the outcasts, from the poor and the pissed off, from the ones who lit a candle in the dark and made it a weapon, a prayer, a scream. Candle magic is one of the oldest, simplest, and most powerful forms of spell work because it requires so little. A bit of wax, a wick, a flame, and you. Just you. Your body as conduit, your voice as command, your intent as ignition. And that's why they try to sell you the idea that it's not enough, because if you knew how powerful you already are, they couldn't control you anymore. You don't need a whitewashed altar or hand-poured beeswax candles blessed under a blood moon. You don't need to wait for payday. You don't need to feel ashamed for doing magic in the cracks of your life, in your car, in the bathroom, while your kids are asleep, in the park, behind the pub, or in your kitchen at 3 a.m. with a tea light and your last nerve fraying. Those are sacred spaces too, the ones where you need magic, not the ones where you perform it. Punk Magick says this loud. Your survival is sacred, your rebellion is ritual. Your magic doesn't need to look like anyone else's to be real. So the next time doubt creeps in, when you think you need more, be more, buy more, light a candle. Light it in defiance. Light it because you have something to say, something to feel, something to release. Speak to that flame. Tell it your truth. Not the one you rehearsed, not the one they expect, but the real, cracked, bleeding one. The one that sits in your chest like firewood waiting for a spark. Because that flame will listen. And it won't ask if you're worthy. It won't check your follower count. It won't care what path you follow or how many books you've read. It will burn. It will carry your will into the dark. It will become the line between silence and spell, between despair and direction. And that's enough. So here's your altar, a table, a brick, a patch of earth. Here's your candle, gifted, broken, found. Here's your match. Here's your will. And here you are, not waiting anymore, not asking, just lighting the fucking candle. Because this world is falling apart, and you're still here. Because your breath still moves and your voice still shakes mountains. Because your magic was never about perfection, it was always about persistence. You're a witch, a survivor, a maker of fire. And they can't sell what's already yours.